mortals. You're entering the eerie depths of Chokeslam Radio, where expert insider WWE knowledge and secrets are unleashed with thunderous power.
Rest in peace.
Coming to you live straight from the heart of Death Valley. Here are your mysterious hosts, DRW15 and DJ Big Unknown.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new action-packed episode of Chokeslam Radio. I don't know about you, DRW15, but I'm fired up after the Royal Rumble, and I'm ready to break this thing down.
Absolutely. Fire Royal Rumble. I was a little nervous about it, but I'm happy with the production, with how things went. It was a great show. Ready to get into things. It was a big week.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I still am hyped up. I still have the energy, but I don't know. Monday Night Raw last night was just not really doing it for me. It felt like another Monday Night Raw back on the USA Network, where it's just Sami Zayn and CM Punk just, hitting the same moves that they hit every week. Nothing new.
Yeah. The guys and gals gave it their all over the weekend. So, I guess I'm not too mad that Monday Night Raw wasn't like a crazy show, but I was shocked that Kevin Owens showed up. I thought he basically died on Saturday. So if that guy's showing up and still putting moves out there, no one else has any excuse. But yeah, Royal Rumble was amazing. Monday Night Raw, bit of a sleeper show, but as I said, what can you do after a banger of a show on Saturday?
Right. I was a little worried. It seemed like the Wyatt Six were going to come back because there was a lot of interference, sort of like what we were seeing. That seemed like a little less than a year ago now. But I think they were saying that Wyatt Six was supposed to be on Monday Night Raw, and then they got moved to SmackDown before they even got to appear on Netflix. So I could see that they might be a little ticked off about that and probably were trying to sabotage that last night.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I get it from the Netflix people too. They were watching Wyatt Six cause all this chaos on USA. That's what it was on, right? USA?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were causing all this chaos week after week, and Netflix didn't want to have to deal with that. So it makes sense. It was probably part of the contract. They're like, hey, if Raw is coming to Netflix, we can't have these hackers messing up our app for everyone. So I'm sure Triple H was like, fine, we'll send them to SmackDown. But the Wyatt Six, they're always going to try to get their hands on everything and mess stuff up. So I don't know if that was them last night or what was going on, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're a little bit ticked off that, Triple H sent them to Friday Night SmackDown. Because I do think that the Netflix watchers would enjoy them, but I'm sure the people behind the scenes at Netflix didn't want to have to deal with all that.
Yeah, they wouldn't want the first, death on Netflix to be, live on their new show. That would probably be not very good.
Yeah, that's the tricky part is, Netflix, when they're airing these live things, they don't know what's going to happen. And we saw before it went to Netflix, some people may or may not have lost their lives. We're not totally sure, but not a risk that I'd want to take if I was working at Netflix.
Exactly. Well, I think we should, get into what everyone's here to talk about, and that's the Royal Rumble. I know we made predictions ahead of time. We were going to do a game. I know I counted the ones I got right, but I don't remember. I don't remember which ones you picked. So
yeah, a lot of the like professional athletes and celebrities that I picked did not show up. I know that the one celebrity appearance was I Show Speed, and then Joe Hendry, I think we both talked about as well.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. I think this was the first Royal Rumble ever that did not have a legend return.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you could count John Cena, but he's not like a retired legend.
Yeah, everyone knew he was coming back. I didn't know who number 30 was going to be. I mean, I think we counted down and figured out it was going to be Logan Paul. but I was kind of
Mhm.
expecting Edge or one of the big names from the past to come back. So it was still a solid Rumble, and all the superstars showed out. Maybe that's why, because they knew that there was going to be no crazy legend showing up. Um, the Rock is the one guy who is still on the roster and could show up at any time, but he's apparently still scared. So whatever.
Yeah. I feel like the reason why there were so many, or not so many, so little celebrities and famous superstars or famous legends from the old days. I feel like there were so much less this than in years past, and I think Triple H, he looks to that online fan base of WWE, and when you go on websites like Reddit and Twitter and stuff, it's kind of just like the same 20 people who sit on there all day and say they want to do all this stuff. And
Yeah.
Triple H probably sees that and thinks that's the entire WWE's fan base who's going to freak out if a celebrity shows up instead of a NXT star who hasn't gotten his opportunity yet. And I think, really the only two celebrities were Joe Hendry, which Joe Hendry is a guy who's not even really qualified to be in the Royal Rumble. But he was one of the guys that the internet guys like so much. So that's the only reason he was there, because of the internet guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other guy was I Show Speed, which ended up being the best part of the Royal Rumble. That's what's gone most viral on the Royal Rumble. That was the most successful number-wise. So I think Triple H kind of learned his lesson, because, even though he did just about everything he could to make the internet fans happy, they were still mad about it.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I think Triple H maybe needs, an intern or someone who's part of social media but can help out with all that stuff, because I do think it's great that, maybe he's looking at Twitter, but as you're saying, there's a couple, and we've talked about this, there's a couple accounts on Twitter who kind of run everything, and then whatever they say, like all the WWE fans just praise, So, like, yeah, it's cool to see Joe Hendry, and maybe that's going to get you some clicks. But at the same time, like, dude's not going to win the Royal Rumble, and we would much rather see a legend come back, a Hardy brother or something like that. And a lot of people on the internet were apparently pissed that Jey Uso even won the Rumble, which I thought was crazy. And then Monday Night Raw, he comes out, and the fans are still going crazy for him. He's all emotional, and it was great to see him win. And it's not like he didn't deserve to win. He got in there and he beat everyone else out. He was the best fighter in the ring at that point. So I don't get why the internet's mad about that. Like, I'm more mad sometimes about NFL games when the refs are calling all these penalties for the Chiefs, but the refs didn't do anything. That was just Jey Uso being a good fighter and winning the match. So I think it's kind of ridiculous that all the people online are complaining about it.
Yeah, don't be mad at Jey Uso that John Cena lost. Be mad at John Cena that he didn't try. It didn't look like he was really giving it all at the end there. And he kind of, we were talking about this last week going into this. He doesn't really seem to want it very bad. He's kind of just doing it because the fans want him to be involved, and he knows that he hasn't won a match in a long time and doesn't really seem to care anymore.
No. And, Jey Uso's out there every single week, sometimes on Raw and SmackDown. And when was the last time John Cena was out there and, like, fighting actual matches? So maybe if he was out there every week like Jey Uso was, he would have had a better chance. But he went from, like, not fighting at all to trying to do a double attitude adjustment. And that probably, his legs nearly gave out, and that was probably the end of it for him. So, John Cena's a star, and we love him. But, you take a break from the ring for that long and then come back and try to win the Royal Rumble. Like, that's pretty intense. So, Jay's been putting in the work, and it showed on Saturday night.
Yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to Kent in the chat. Thanks for joining the show, Kent. And I just want to say what's up to the 38 viewers on TikTok. Let us know who you think should have won the Royal Rumble. Are you happy that Jey Uso won? Are you happy that Charlotte Flair won? I want to hear what you guys have to say. But overall, do you think overall, I mean, my favorite part of the Royal Rumble is always like never knowing who's going to show up.
Mhm.
And this year was the first time where we already knew like most of the people who were going to show up because they just kept announcing it. Like I knew that Logan Paul was going to be number 30. So, you know, it kind of takes away of that anticipation. Like, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? So yeah, I don't know. It was just a little something felt off about the Royal Rumble this year, but other than that, it was still awesome to watch. I mean, it's still the Royal Rumble. They could put like a bunch of weirdos in it and it would still be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think that was the problem a little bit, is that they had already named most of the big superstars that were going to be in it. And then when you got down to the end and started counting, you're like, okay, there's like 6 spots left, and we know most of the guys who still have to come out. You know, usually around 25 to 30, you have no idea who's going to show up. But we already knew Logan Paul was going to come. We already knew John Cena. So, you know, I think they fumbled the bag a little bit by naming so many superstars. And then I don't know how they generate the order, but then they maybe could have looked it over beforehand and switched some things up so that, you know, maybe there's still some mystery down the line. But, you know, that being said, all the guys on the roster who I wanted to see in the Rumble were in it. So, except Omos and maybe The Rock and a few others. But, you know, Tribal Chief was in there, Braun Breaker, and then, you know, obviously all the guys they named. So,
yeah,
you know, solid Rumble, but no crazy surprises on the men's side.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about, you know, there's 2 questions I have about the rules. The first one is I saw a lot of people online were saying that Tozawa never got eliminated. Tozawa did his entrance, got beat up, and he never went over the top rope. So does that mean is the Royal Rumble possibly still going, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great point, and I don't know the answer to that because technically they announced him and he started his walkout, so technically he's part of the match. And I think we've seen before, you know, I forget who it was, but there was one wrestler who never entered the ring right away, and
I think it was Hornswoggle, right?
yeah, Hornswoggle was announced and didn't go in the ring right away, and the Rumble kept going, and he eventually had to enter the ring and then get eliminated. So, you know, Tozawa was attacked beforehand, but that's part of wrestling, and he's still part of the Rumble. So I think that's a great point and something we should.
And you know, the guy who drug him out, the guy who's been causing a lot of issues, was Adam Pearce. He's the guy who, I'm sorry, he's the guy who fucked it up once again. He's a fuck up.
Classic. He probably doesn't know the rules of the Rumble either. You know.
Yeah.
He doesn't really know what he's doing. So, yeah, classic Adam Pearce. Just get in the way of everything. So, yeah, we'll have one of our analysts take a closer look at the rules of the Rumble. And we'll report on that next week. But the Rumble might still be going on, as far as we know.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. I mean, WWE is a mess right now. I have no idea which superstars are on which shows, but Tozawa was not on Raw last night, so it would have been nice to get an update on that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're just gonna try to cover it up and hope no one realizes.
Yeah.
Or maybe that'll be a big WrestleMania moment. You know, Jey Uso's about to start his match against Cody or Gunther, and then Tozawa shows up and says, "Hey, you still have the Rumble is still going on. You still haven't beat me." And then they have to figure something out.
Yeah. That's a great point. I think Tozawa, if he plays this right, could have a real advantage in you know, winning one of these belts if he wanted to. But you know, he needs I bet Chad Gable would have realized it if Chad Gable is still their coach. But you know, he's not around anymore with those guys. So we'll see if Tozawa takes advantage of this opportunity or not.
The other question I had about the Royal Rumble was, you know, it seemed like this year everyone everyone just started announcing like, "Hey, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble this year." So like, how does that work? You just literally just anyone on the roster can say they're in the Royal Rumble, or because why didn't everyone say it then?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a great opportunity for some of these younger fighters to announce that they're in the Rumble. So yeah, if you could just go out and say, "Hey, I'm in the Royal Rumble," and you're in it, yeah, I don't know why more people didn't say that, because there were quite a few superstars who didn't get the opportunity to be in it, and all it would have
Mhm.
taken was at some point in one of the shows to just get on screen and be like, "Hey, I'm declaring for the Royal Rumble." You know,
Mhm.
it's not like the NFL draft where a team has to draft you. Anyone apparently can declare for the Royal Rumble and they're in it. We should try that next year and see if all of a sudden they'll let us in, or how that works.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good idea. But yeah, I also wanted to say that I Show Speed, he really got destroyed out there, but I have a lot of respect for him going out there and doing his best. And this video of him getting speared by Braun Breaker is really blowing up on the internet right now, and people are starting to realize, like, because most people, when you talk about WWE, they're like, oh, that fake show, even though they watch like Squid Game, which is fake, and like all these other shows that are fake. They think WWE is fake.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're starting to realize, oh, like when you see Speed get hit by Braun Breaker, like you can't say that's fake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw Speed after the match. He had like a messed up leg and he could barely breathe, and he was in the Rumble for 30 seconds maybe. So people talk all this CRAP online, but I think this was a good opportunity to see. This is not like a laughing matter, and these fighters are actually in there like risking their lives and getting beat
Mm.
up for real. So I'm kind of glad Triple H sent Speed out there, because I think it's making a lot of people sort of see the WWE for what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people are realizing they would not want to enter the Royal Rumble at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, during the Royal Rumble, I always get kind of confused by this. They call it the Royal Rumble, but then they have all these other matches that aren't Royal Rumbles.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a pretty cool match where they had the ladder match for, they put the WWE Championship up with some old championship that doesn't even exist anymore
Mm-hmm.
to make it seem twice as important. But it was really just for the WWE Championship.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this match was like way better than I thought it would be. It was crazy.
Yeah, we've definitely talked some shit about Cody Rhodes a little bit for being the champion and not really doing a whole lot with it. But his match against KO was a banger. They were going all out. I was worried that neither of them were going to be able to finish the match because they were just going so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the beef before between Kevin Owens and Cody was a little bit silly. But now I can see these dudes really don't like each other and are willing to like go balls to the wall for those belts. So I got to give respect to both of those fighters. It was a crazy match. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
KO's okay, because I was worried that he might never return. So it was crazy to see him come back last night.
Well, I mean, after what he did to Randy Orton, I think he kind of deserved worse than what he got, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I know it kind of hurts me to say that about anyone, but KO, he really deserved it. He took a man, Randy Orton, that everyone looks up to and respects. I mean, think about all the kids that look up to Randy Orton, and to see, this big, you know, big man, Kevin Owens, do that to him and just injure him. It really, it's a tough thing to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it hurt me to watch, and I'm an adult, and I grew up loving Randy Orton. So yeah, for the young viewers out there, it was messed up. And I don't know if they enjoyed watching Kevin Owens get beat up the way he did on Saturday or not. For me, it was kind of mixed emotions because, he's definitely done that to other superstars, but you never like to see a grown man get destroyed like that. Yeah, Cody was ruthless. And there was a point in the match where I thought he had a concussion when his head bounced off the ladder, but he powered through. So, respect to the guy.
Mm-hmm. It will be interesting to see if Cody is on SmackDown on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Although now that Roman Reigns is injured, I don't even know if I'm going to be watching until he's back, to be honest.
How long did they say he's out?
They didn't even say what his injury was, but I'm guessing it had to be the curb stomp from Seth freaking Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that really pissed me off, especially because last night, I don't know what city they were in, but they were cheering him after he did that to the tribal chief. I mean, that's just disgusting. I can't believe that was an American city that they were in.
I know, we're applauding a cheap shot where you injure the show's biggest superstar, not even in a match, just angry because you got eliminated. Come on. That was ridiculous. Of course, Adam Pearce isn't going to punish Seth Rollins or do anything about it, but why should he just get away without any sort of punishment after doing something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it was Roman Reigns doing that to Seth Rollins, it would have been Roman's way too dangerous for this show, and it would have been everyone in the locker room, saying, "Oh, I guarantee you, Sami Zayn would have been like, oh, Roman, I don't know if I respect you anymore." I guarantee you, he would say, he's always trying to get involved with stuff like that. But Seth freaking Rollins does it, and everyone's like,
I know. He's annoying. I used to like Seth freaking Rollins, but he's a little bit of a crybaby, and he doesn't really, win any matches anymore. He just does cheap shots and starts random beef with people for no reason. So I hope Roman comes back angry and puts Seth in his place because Seth has cost Roman a few different times now. So I think Roman's going to get his revenge.
Yeah, he will at some point. I just, if he actually is injured and he's out for a while, I don't see why I should keep watching WWE,
Yeah, that's a good point.
With The Rock gone, Roman Reigns gone, Jey Uso's probably not going to fight anyone until WrestleMania. Who else am I going to watch? Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre? Come on now.
Yeah, I heard Drew McIntyre was all angry after he got eliminated. I understand why, because he's a little crybaby, but he apparently stormed out of the arena and didn't even watch the rest of the Rumble. Classic
I'd be mad too if I got eliminated from the Rumble. I don't blame. I feel like everyone should be that mad if they lose the Royal Rumble. It's a huge opportunity, so I don't get why that's such a big news story.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if it was more because he was angry at how he got eliminated or just angry that he got out, but I guess it's good that he cares. It's better than him not caring, but I feel for Drew McIntyre a little bit because I can't tell you the last time he won anything significant. He always loses, and then throws a big temper tantrum about it. So, but yeah, that was all over my Twitter that Drew McIntyre was all pissed off after he got eliminated. So, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Drew McIntyre is mad about something.
I know. Breaking news.
Who would have thought? Oh my gosh. I don't think there's really anything to talk about with the tag match.
No, that's when I decided to make my dinner. As we kind of talked about, nothing special about that one. I wish they had done a Extreme Rules or a cage match or something to make it at least more interesting, but that just felt like a normal match that could have been on like Monday Night Raw. So
Yeah. And then the women's Royal Rumble, I actually kind of liked it because unlike the men's Royal Rumble, I didn't really know who was going to show up. And, you know, we got introduced to, you know, old legends who came back, not old in a mean way. I mean, they still looked good. And we also got to see, like, you know, young superstars from NXT, which, by the way, I'm going to NXT a week from Saturday in DC. So I'm hyped to see some of those women in person. And I'm going to be analyzing their performance.
Yeah, well, we look forward to hearing about your analysis. But yeah, the women's Royal Rumble was good. It was cool to see Alexa Bliss. Is that her name? Alexa Bliss, and then one of the Bella sisters.
I'm not quite sure how to help with that.
My Alexa's talking to me. But
Alexa
yeah, cool.
Bliss?
Yeah, my Alexa Bliss is talking to me. But it was cool to see them come back. And, I mean, good for Charlotte Flair for winning it. You know, we've seen her win a lot of things in the past, so I'm not shocked. But I know that the fans are also not happy about that. But, like, what can you do? You know, she came back and proved that she still got it. So good for her for winning that match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I guess, I don't know. I kind of felt bad that the fans were booing her so much because it's like, I don't know. It's like, imagine you win the Royal Rumble and you're so excited about it, and now people are just hating on you.
Yeah,
I guess. But I don't know. Like, if wrestling fans don't like you, that means you're probably doing something right. Because I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say I can't think of a single, you know, successful wrestler who, you know, the fans were like supporting the whole time. They're always like being a baby about them and saying that they don't deserve it and all this stuff. And then, you know, eventually the wrestler wins over enough fans. But yeah, wrestling fans are super harsh for no reason and always like to hate on everyone except for their like one favorite wrestler, no matter what. So
yeah, I know. Like there are a lot of wrestling fans who even hate Roman Reigns because he doesn't show up enough. Well, you know, like he has leukemia and he still is like the best fighter in the WWE, and you're mad that he's not at like every Monday Night Raw. Like,
yeah.
Why would you want to be at every Monday Night Raw when Adam Pearce runs it? Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I know. He's there more frequently than a lot of other guys. And then, you know, he gets injured Saturday night after getting eliminated from a match. And so, you know, as we saw with Speed and Roman Reigns, you know, every time you go out in that ring, you're putting your health and well-being at risk. So you gotta be smart about it. And of course, the fans are going to be babies if they don't see exactly what they want every single week.
So, our boy, Mr. Yeet, Jey Uso, he's got a tough decision to make. It seems like he's going to go for Gunther. You know, they have that history. But I don't know. If I was him, you know, he was talking about how his whole life, everyone's been saying, like, he can't do it. He's not good enough. He can't win the Royal Rumble. And now he's done it. So, you know, I feel like he's made it this far, going for the like BS title that Gunther has. That just seems kind of like he doesn't believe in himself. He's still not believing in himself. So I feel like even though him and Cody are boys, he should still try to go for the actual title, because if not, then it's just like saying that he still doesn't believe in himself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, yeah, as you said, I know that he and Cody are kind of buddies, but at the same time, you know, who cares if you win the World Heavyweight Championship? You know, that belt doesn't really mean anything. You want to be the WWE champion. You already proved that you could win the Rumble, which I think is harder than beating Cody Rhodes one-on-one. You know, I don't even know the last time that Cody and Jay fought, if ever. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I know they've been on the same team a couple of times, but it's a new matchup. I think he fought Gunther recently and lost, and I wouldn't even want to fight Gunther over Cody anyways. I think I
Yeah,
would probably pick to fight Cody. So, you know, go big or go home. You've got one shot to win any belt in the WWE. Why not go for the big one?
exactly. Yeah, it's interesting with Cody's history. It was him and Jey Uso. They were tag team partners and had the tag team championships about a year ago, like a little over a year ago. And I saw them live in DC fight the Judgment Day. And
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm telling you, I'm not making this up because I watched every episode of WWE. That's around the time when Jey Uso started wearing the Yeet shirt. And I swear, Washington, D.C., that show I was at was the first crowd where we started chanting Yeet when he hit his moves.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hey, like Washington, D.C., we invented the Yeet chant, which is like the biggest thing in the WWE right
Yeah,
now.
it is.
But yeah, anyways, there's actually going to be a SmackDown a week from Friday in Washington, D.C. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't know if I'm going to go, like, unless something crazy happens on SmackDown. Like, WWE ticket prices have, like, tripled in the past year. So it's like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I want to pay over $100 to sit nosebleeds and watch DIY for 3 hours. I mean,
Yeah,
unless, like, Roman or Cody are going to do something cool, like, which they haven't really been, like, unless it's a pay-per-view. So I don't even know if I want to go.
yeah. It seems like right now in the WWE, the priority is like the pay-per-views number one, and then Raw number two, and then whatever's left over, they'll just kind of throw on SmackDown. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
might get like one decent match, but it's going to be a lot of like random tag teams and stuff you don't really care about. Um, but it's always cool to see a live event, so it would be cool for you to go. But yeah, I agree at the same time. If there's like any WWE event that's not worth watching every week, it's probably Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, I would say I'm actually more excited for the NXT show because it's going to be in a smaller arena
Mm-hmm.
since it's NXT, and it's actually really cheap. Like, my tickets were like $30, and there's still going to be some big names there, like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are going to be there,
Oh
and
damn.
Bailey's also going to be there. Um, and who knows who's going to show up. I saw that Charlotte Flair is going to be on NXT tonight, or she was earlier tonight. I still haven't caught up on that, but that'll be
Mm-hmm.
interesting to see if the NXT crowd, how they react to her. Because, you know, people who go to NXT, they're like the hardcore WWE fans. Like, the
Mm-hmm.
regular WWE fans are not, probably don't even know what NXT is. So it'll be interesting to see how those fans react to her. Or I
Yeah,
guess
that's
that
true.
probably happened within the last hour. But
Yeah, I know it's kind of annoying. Like Charlotte Flair wins the Royal Rumble Saturday, and before she can even have a chance to like come on one of the shows and address everything, everyone on Twitter is like freaking out and all pissed off about it. Uh,
mhm.
so that's just annoying. And the same thing happened with Jey Uso. So I was a little worried that some of the fans on Monday Night Raw weren't gonna like be cheering for him. But it's just all the stupid internet trolls that do that, and then all the actual fans who go to the events were like super happy for him. So
Mhm.
it'll be cool to see what happened with Charlotte Flair. I also haven't caught up on that yet, but it's good that she's on NXT and back in the WWE.
Right. Um, Speaking of Charlotte Flair, she also has a big decision. Um, I know she went to NXT tonight to possibly challenge for the NXT title, I guess, but I mean, she's not going to do that. I think she's just trying to win the fans back on her side by making an appearance at NXT. The Rock kind of did the same thing a couple weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago.
Yeah.
But do you think she's going to go for um, Rhea Ripley's title or Tiffy Times?
So Rhea Ripley has the women's title, right? What is Tiffy Times called? Is that the USA champion?
I've no FUCKING idea.
Well, I think that Rhea Ripley's title is the big one. So I'm going to guess that Charlotte Flair is going to go for that one because, she's a legend and she, no offense to Tiffy Time, like good for her for having that title, but, she knows go big or go home. This is her chance. She's just coming back and she's got one shot to win a belt. I don't think she really cares for the Tiffy Time belt.
Right.
So I think this is her chance to take out Rhea Ripley. I don't even remember who she had beef with before she left, but I think she probably thinks that she's got a decent shot to win that belt, even though she's going against Rhea Ripley, and I think she's going for that one.
Yeah, and she has a lot to prove to the fans, even though I feel like if she won any belt, the fans would still probably hate her, but
Yeah.
It does at some point it doesn't really matter what the fans think. I hate the Chiefs so much, and there are a ton of people who hate the Kansas City Chiefs, but it's not like they're not going to win the Super Bowl just because I hate them.
Yeah.
Like they're still going to try to win it.
Yeah, that's true. WWE and football are pretty similar in some ways, but yeah, like I used to love Kevin Owens, and then he attacked Randy Orton, and now I'm kind of like not as crazy about him, So you can do certain things in the WWE to win the fans over. I don't think the Chiefs could do anything ever to make me become a Chiefs fan. But yeah, I think Charlotte's got this opportunity. The fans are going to boo her either way, so might as well go for the big belt and get booed while doing it instead of fighting Tiffy Time and still getting booed.
Anyways, well, every week we've been having a couple videos that our editor analyst sends in for us to watch. So I was thinking maybe we could watch a couple of those right now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
1 second, if I can find them. Okay. Here we go.
Eliminate two birds with one stone. Jey Uso kicked the pole. Logan Paul's eliminated. We're down to Cena.
Yeah, that moment had me speechless too. Another great reaction from our guy there. As we talked about last time we watched this clip, sometimes it's best to let the audience and the soundtrack speak for itself. Sometimes the announcers are doing too much. So I'm glad he kind of gave his reaction, but didn't try to like overstep or anything like that. So
yeah, I'd love to have him on for an interview. I don't know how it would go, how much we could really learn from that, but it would be great to have him on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate his analysis and breakdowns of some of the events because when I watch it live, sometimes I'm so into it. So to get to like see the replay and have him really break it down for us is great after the fact. So I love his content, and yeah, we'd love to interview him just to hear a little bit more about all that he knows about the WWE.
All right, let's see what else we got.
See, this guy's going for a similar strategy here, but instead of keeping the crowd and announcers, I think he put his own music. It sounded like over the video. That was a little bit more difficult to see what was going on, and I think I would have appreciated a little bit more analysis from him. Yeah.
I did like that choice of music though. It kind of brought out like a different emotion than you would have watching it with, you know, Michael Cole talking your ear off every second. So yeah, it was kind of cool. It would be maybe interesting if they had more like WWE style music videos or something like that, because you know, that was pretty cool. You know, I felt a little more of a connection with the tribal chief on that one.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes, as they say, music is 1,000 words, and you know, he picked the music that he thought went with that video, and it definitely brought out a different emotion than if we had been watching it with the actual sound. So I like the creativity there.
Let me see. That might be all the videos I have, but I have like some others that I haven't like reviewed. I downloaded these like a while ago, so I don't know what these could be. I don't know if I want to put them on. Let me look at these in another tab. Like, what is this? Okay, I actually have one more video. I have one more video. So this is a former WWE superstar, and this is I wanted to see what he was up to nowadays.
Okay.
Man, I'm hooked. That blue raspberry is so damn good. I love that. I'm happy with that one.
All right, yeah, we can remove that.
Oh my god. Yeah, Ryback was one of the scariest guys like in the WWE back in the day. So it's good to see he's still getting out there. Not exactly what I expected him to be doing, but
that was actually a video I screen recorded when I was going through TikTok live. And you know, there's nothing wrong against people who do TikTok live, but I mean, come on, you got to find something better to do with your time than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I couldn't even really tell what was going on the other side there, but that was a bit crazy. Yeah, I don't know about that one right back. Here, I have one clip. So as you know, I went to Micromania a couple weeks ago, and this is a different. How do I do this? There we go. This is a different company, but this is
Wrestling 2025 full cast full call. I'm Little Miss.
Superfly knee high.
Ben Urkel. Nathan O.
Livy Luana.
Chief Littlefoot.
Psycho, you know.
Jay Amazing. Little Chola. Pinky Shortcake.
Thomas Jr.
Rufio. Jamaican Joe.
Little Show, the Redneck Brawler.
The Lumberjack.
Michael Thaget, meow.
Disco Don, baby. Little Lex.
Micro Suave. The $1 Million Micro. Mr. Nice Guy.
Baby Jesus.
Oddfather Micro.
It's your boy, Hot Rod.
Your favorite pretty girl, Hot Lena.
Little Ozzy. Zach Presley.
What up, Bebop?
Heavy Metal Mario.
Michael Jackson.
Carolina Reaper.
King Clover. Andrew the Giant.
Micro Wrestling 2025 full cast roll call. I'm Little Miss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow, that really makes you realize like how many little dudes and dudettes are out there, really busting their ass to make it to the WWE one day, and Triple H just doesn't let any of them in the WWE, which is pretty crazy.
I know, and I wonder if one of them had declared for the Rumble, if they would have been allowed in. We should have let 25 Cent know, because I think 25 Cent is a bigger star than any of those guys, and maybe some guys that were even in the Rumble.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, maybe next year we'll message 25 Cent and say, hey, just so you know, all you have to do is say, I'm declaring for the Rumble. He could probably say it at one of his shows, and then he could enter the Royal Rumble. But yeah, I can't believe that all those fighters were probably inspired by Hornswoggle and, trying to make it big, and Triple H won't even, acknowledge that. So,
Mhm.
I know Vince would be all over that, looking for, future talents, but
Mhm.
disappointing from Triple H.
Yeah, I'm not sure really. There hasn't really been an update on Vince McMahon in a while, but maybe if they don't let him back to the WWE, maybe he could help out with Micromania or one of these other, AEW or one of those other companies.
Yeah, we'll see. I got a news thing from like Google on my phone today saying that Brock Lesnar's name was dropped or they like talked about Brock Lesnar in the case. I didn't click on it, so I don't know anything more than that. But it sounds like it's still going on. Maybe Brock was too busy with this court case stuff to enter the Royal Rumble. But hopefully it all gets figured out. And maybe
Well,
Brock
we know
Lesnar is back.
Vince McMahon has been in some other, lawsuits in the past, and he's always come out on top. So we'll see what happens this time. I mean, I don't think they've actually settled on anything. So we'll see what happens. But I hope, whatever happened, they can figure out the truth.
Yeah, I'm sure Vince has got the best lawyers in the game. As you said, he's been through the process before, so I think he'll be all right. It just all this stuff takes time, and I'm sure that whoever's on the other side knows that they're going to lose, but it's just like dragging it out so that Vince can't get back to wrestling. So that part sucks, but I think we'll see him back sooner or later.
Well, let's say even if like he's 100% cleared from everything, do you think they're even going to let him back into WWE? Because I'm pretty sure he sold all his shares.
No, I don't know if he'll get let back into WWE, but he's got a lot of money and he built the WWE basically from nothing. So I'm sure one of these other wrestling companies would give him a shot. And, being as talented as he is, I'm sure he could make something happen. He's got connections. He could bring Brock Lesnar in probably to whatever company decides to sign him. So
I wonder if he watches Chokeslam Radio.
probably, I know he would love the show. He's probably a little bit busy with the court stuff, but maybe like on the way to and from the.
Well, that's a reason why he would probably want to listen if he doesn't have time to, keep up with everything else, or that's a good way to get the news.
That's true. We do break everything down. So if you're missing shows, it's great to watch us. So I'm sure Vince has heard of us, and he probably listens on his way to and from the courthouse when he's driving.
So one guy, this is actually something kind of interesting I want to talk about. One guy who I think does well. There's three people in WWE who like definitely listen to Chokeslam Radio. Sasha Banks, because she's commented about us on Instagram. R-Truth, because he's retweeted a lot of our stuff. And then another guy, he's never like said anything on social media about it, but he's said a lot of quotes from our show on SmackDown and whatever shows he's on, and that's Corey Graves. And I've noticed in the past couple of weeks he's been gone. He hasn't been on any of the shows, and we haven't heard from him. So like, where has this guy been? Because he's one of my favorite commentators right now on WWE.
Yeah, definitely. He was good. He was right up there, I think, with Pat McAfee and doing a great job, filling in. And maybe he was a little bit pissed off that they didn't let him do the Royal Rumble. I don't know if that's the reason he hasn't been around or when all that was announced. But yeah, he was a great commentator. And yeah, he definitely listened to our show because I feel like we would talk about something and then, the exact same week he'd be all over it and repeating pretty much exactly what's said on our show. So I'm glad we've got some influence there, and we hope to see him back again soon.
Yeah. What do you think about this new guy, Joe Tessitore? Because he's been with WWE for what, like about 2 months now, 3 months. So I feel like we've gotten a good feel of him. What do you think of him as a commentator?
I think he's fine. Like nothing special. Sometimes it's better when the announcers are just kind of there and not like trying to do too much. And I enjoy it. I think more when Pat McAfee's there, but I think Joe Tessitore is he's a fine announcer. I think it'll take some time if he's going to be around for a while to like really get to know all the fighters because it can be hard. I don't know how much WWE he watched before he started like being an announcer, so sometimes it's a little difficult to like give good analysis if you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
I just kind of think he doesn't really talk like a real person. Like he does talk like a real person, but there's something kind of off. Like, what I realized the other day? He talks like Chat GPT. Like if Chat GPT was an announcer, like he's really good. He uses all these like big words. Everything he says makes sense, but it's just kind of like dull. Like there's not really any real emotion or personality behind it. It just seems like if they made Chat GPT an announcer, which is like good and bad, but it's like, I don't know, he doesn't really bring anything to the table. Whereas Corey Graves, he's an actual analyst. He's going to give you his opinion on it, whether you like it or not. And he's not just going with a bunch of stats and whatever the algorithm's going to tell him to say.
Yeah, that's a good point. As I said, sometimes it's better if the announcers just let the fighters do the talking. But if you just give too much stats and not enough, the WWE is something where you want to hear like a reaction, and I think that's what Pat McAfee does so good. Is when Jey Uso's eating, he's eating right there with him. He's fully bought into it. So, if you're just a robot out there, it kind of takes away a little bit. It makes it not as exciting.
Shout out to Brotherly Love Podcasts on TikTok. What's up? Thank you for the hearts. I'm gonna ignore that comment that just popped up on YouTube, but anyways, can we can we get our editor to take that comment off the screen? Thank you. Anyways, what was I saying? Speaking of stats, it was kind of annoying during the Royal Rumble how we had all these freaking stats on the bottom, which like the stats are cool and all, but it's like they don't have to take up a third of the screen during like the best match of the year.
Yeah.
It was pretty annoying. Like they did the women's Royal Rumble first, and I went on Instagram to check like all of their posts. The comments were like, "Get rid of the big blue bar on the bottom of the screen." And then they took it away after that match, so I figured it was just gone. But then they brought it back for the men's Royal Rumble and kept it up there the whole time. So it's like another instance of Triple H has to really get like an intern who knows social media and like see this stuff. Because when you have a live crowd, you just listen to them cheering or booing, and then you can figure it out. But most of the audience for the Royal Rumble is watching it on Peacock or Netflix. So they need some way to figure out what people are talking about in that case. Like, I wonder if they even knew last night. Whoa. I just got a crazy notification from TikTok. They're saying that they're going to kick us off in 5 minutes.
Huh.
Oh, we're back. I think we're fine. That was weird, though. Anyways. Yeah, what did you think about these stats?
I mean, I think I understand why they did it because there's a lot of new viewers who probably didn't know the rules of the Royal Rumble. So like I understand that, but I do agree at the same time it kind of like it was a bit much, you know. And I think as you talked about last year, they had the C4 countdown.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And like that's pretty sick. So I think it was a bit over the top to have like so many stats constantly going across your screen. Like it'd be cool to have a pop-up every once in a while because sometimes in the Rumble everyone's tired and then I think you can like cut away or like show a stat on the side of the screen. But having it up there like the whole time, I was kind of like a bit distracted by it.
Yeah. It was kind of like having subtitles on a movie. It's like
exactly.
Like, yeah, it's kind of nice to look at, but I don't want to be like reading it because then I'm not looking at the rest of the screen. I'm looking at like these words. If I want to read something, I'll read a book. If I want to look at stats, I'm going to open Excel spreadsheets like a nerd or something like that. I'm not going to watch the Royal Rumble to look at stats. Like,
yeah,
whose idea was that?
I know. I can ask ChatGPT or even look it up on Google if I want all the stats from the Rumble, or listen to Chokeslam Radio. We'll give you the important information. But you know, having that all over my screen while I'm trying to watch the wrestling, it can be a lot.
Yeah. And I just want to say shout out to Brotherly Love Podcast. Thanks for giving us all those hearts on TikTok. Make sure you hit that subscribe so you don't miss out. We stream every week. So, yeah. Anyways, I do have a special ending segment that we can get to. But is there anything else you would want to cover before we start that?
Let me think. I don't think so. The only one other thing is what's next, the Elimination Chamber. I thought it was a little bit silly how John Cena already kind of declared for the Elimination Chamber, like he maybe knew he wasn't going to win the Rumble and already had plans for that. Like it'll be cool to see him in it, but like immediately after the Rumble ended, he's like, "Well, this just means I get to be in the Elimination Chamber." It's like, all right. I mean, I guess it's his final run, but
yeah,
whatever.
And it's like everyone else has to do a qualifying match to get in the Elimination Chamber, and he doesn't. And like, I get he's John Cena, like he's a legend, but you know, does that mean that just because you're a legend, you get to qualify immediately for anything you want?
I know. We haven't seen him like win a match in a long time. At least make him fight like Ilya Dragunov if he's still even on the roster. I know he got hurt a little while back, but we haven't seen him in months. So I would at least make him fight a normal match. Just the Elimination Chamber is intense, you know. Like Royal Rumble is intense too, but I think he entered at like 20 something. You know, he wasn't in there the whole time. The Elimination Chamber, if you're in there first or second, like that's a pretty brutal match.
Yeah. And, you know, everyone was so pissed at The Rock last year for, you know, putting himself in the match against Cody because even though he deserved it, I mean, he's The Rock. He's like easily like top 3 greatest pro wrestlers of all time. So he could put himself in any match and it would be fine. You know, John Cena puts himself in the Elimination Chamber without having to earn it. And no one has a problem with it. Everyone's like, oh, he should have won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I guess
like,
it's the same thing as the Rumble. You can just declare for the Elimination Chamber and then you're in it.
No, but everyone else has to do qualifying matches. I mean, Sami Zayn just fought CM Punk last night for a qualifying match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, how come they couldn't just declare for it like John Cena did?
Yeah. If he was losing the match, he should have just stopped and been like, I declare for the Elimination Chamber. And then he's in. So,
All right, editor, I told you to remove these comments and you haven't. It's not. I'll end the show right now. Like, I'm serious. Remove it, editor. Anyway, sorry about that.
Yeah. No, that's all I've got to say about that. It'll be cool to see Cena in the elimination chamber, but I don't think that he it's fair that he can just declare for it and everyone else has to fight their way in.
Yeah. So we did have the what's it called? Sorry, I'm trying to ignore these comments. I don't know why they're still on the screen. We had the world record attempt 2 weeks ago on the show, and we did count up our editor counted up the numbers to reveal if I broke it or not. But I feel like, now's not really a good time to reveal that. We have like 2 viewers. So
yeah.
Oh, and we just lost Brotherly Love podcast. So we only have like this I Like Turtles guy who I don't even really want to like do anything for him.
Yeah.
So, unless we can get like a couple more viewers to like tell us to show if I broke the record or not, we're not going to do it. But I do have something else planned that we can do for now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So we're going to be doing the high flying flavors. And I got I think you guys are going to like this one. It's going to be a banger. So let's play that video. Welcome back to High Flying Flavors. A lot of people have been complaining about this segment, and I think it's because, this is a wrestling show, so they don't want to just see like some random segment that's just about food and not really related to pro wrestling or sports in any way. But I mean, we tried to do that with like the Prime and the AEW All In chips. But today we actually have a product that's from, a fan favorite pro wrestler, and that's Edge. So, I have actually used this. We have the Edge. Edge actually made his own shaving cream. So I've used this for shaving, but I haven't actually tasted it yet. So I don't know if this is, something that you're supposed to taste, but I've been working on this new AI that's telling me how I can get the most views on YouTube, and it said that I should do this. So
whatever happens is
tasting
AI's fault.
Yeah, it's Edge's fault for not putting a warning label on it on his product. So, this one's for Edge, and we're gonna give you a review.
Sometimes on High Flying Flavors, he needs a little bit of time to digest and really taste all the flavors. Oh my god!
What about boo? I don't have anywhere to put it.
Do you not have water?
God. I should have had water for this.
I'm excited to hear the review of this one.
Ugh, damn. That definitely was a strong flavor. Probably one of the strongest high flying flavors that we've had in a while. But the problem is it just didn't taste good. So sorry, Ed, but I'm not gonna recommend your product to anyone. This is a horrible product. Don't buy it. Don't eat it. Don't mix it in any foods. Just don't use this. It's not good. That's going to be at the bottom. Worst high flying flavor.
That's good to know. Well, that's kind of what happens when you leave WWE and try to make your career elsewhere. You're leaving one of the best companies in the world, and then you start producing some subpar products. And now Edge has broken legs and a shaving cream that doesn't taste good. So.
Excuse me.
Okay.
I didn't swallow any of it, but I got a good taste. It was in my mouth for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that. We had like one viewer, but maybe it'll go on a clip or something. Anyways, I don't really have anything else to talk about after that.
No, I think that's a good way to end the episode.
I like turtles. Join the Discord. But if you say anything about gingers, I'll ban you.
I'm bummed our boy Hendrick wasn't able to join this week.
I know.
He was the one who was doing the unofficial count of the world record. So it would be nice at least for him to be able to see if he witnessed a world record being broken or not. But he'll have to wait another week.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. That's going to be it from Chokeslam Radio. So, we'll see what happens on SmackDown and Midnight Raw, and so excited to see what happens. And I'm just praying for Roman Reigns, man. I hope he gets better.
Yeah, pray for Roman.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Oh, also we have merch now.
We almost forgot.
I know we only have like one viewer, but join our Discord, and there's a link to our merch in there. We've got some pretty cool stuff on our store. We'll probably be wearing it next week if it comes. I don't know when mine's coming, but
everyone wants to look like Chokeslam Radio. Everyone wants to dress like the dead man. Seth freaking Rollins was trying his hardest to look like the Undertaker last night. Couldn't really pull it off, but if you wanna rock some WWE swag, or not just pro wrestling and just fighting swag in general, and you just want to look cool, you want to look sort of like the Undertaker or Kane, and just be like a mysterious threat that could come at you at any second, and just kind of, the word that I was looking for is aura. If you want to have aura, then you gotta buy our merch on the Chokeslam Radio store. And there's some great options there.
Yeah,
we hired some designers from Paris to make the designs. My boy, I forgot some French name, but yeah, it's kind of like a hard name to pronounce. But we'll give you his name on the next episode. But he put his blood, sweat, and tears into these designs.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool that Chokeslam Radio viewers can get this kind of stuff at such a cheap price, because usually usually to get this kind of designs you'd have to go to Louis Vuitton or
exactly
one of those places.
Yeah, these are quality shirts with great designs, hand drawn, and the Chokeslam Radio logo. You can get them for under $20, I think, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, Mm-hmm. And free shipping if you buy enough too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Anyways, get it before it sells out too, because it's gonna
Mhm.
sell out pretty fast.
Yeah. Well.
And even if you're not gonna wear it, like buy it before it sells out and then resell it on Amazon or something.
Yeah.
You'll get-
Exactly.
It's like investing in, Nvidia.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyways, thanks for watching, and may the power of the dead man be with you.
Mhm.
Thank you for joining us on this bone-chilling journey through the world of WWE. Join us next time on your favorite podcast app or live Tuesday nights on YouTube, Instagram, and X. As the final bell tolls, remember to stay tuned for more spine-tingling tales from the crypt. Chokeslam that button and subscribe. Check out srotu.org and TRW15 on YouTube, or else. Until next time, may the power of the dead man be with you. Rest in